What's going on, guys? You're watching the Shieldbearer of Faith, and today we're going to be doing the first of many videos on pistol craft. Here we go. Today we're talking about concealment. I'm not wearing an enormous shirt. It is not overly baggy. This is something I actually wear. Three main positions that you can draw from. 1, flat-handed. 2, crossed hands. 3, crossed arms. Okay? Flat-handed, crossed hands, cross arms. From flat hand, you got the most work to do, the most distance to cover. You're taking your off hand, so I'm right-handed. You're taking your non-dominant hand, and you are going to drastically sweep that item of clothing so that you completely clear the firearm. So we're not trying to barely clear it, we're trying to drastically clear it. From there, it would look something like this. You're gonna reach for the firearm. You're gonna get your entire hand up that grip as hard as you can from the start. So we don't want to be fumbling with the weapon once it's out. So from that garment removal, hard on the gun, getting your hand really high on that grip, as high as it'll go. It'll give you control. And then you're getting your fingers in a good position, and then you're going to draw straight up really hard. Straight up. From here, we will orient toward the target. Okay? And there's a reason for this. This is the foundation of everything else that we're going to talk about. This high center chest is what this is going to be called. This is where everything starts. Second option, crossed hands. Something like this, you want to be taking that off hand, that non-dominant hand, grabbing that cloth. How often do you see people just standing like this? Pretty frequent in my life. Get that cloth already in your hand. Drastic garment removal. As you're doing that, hand goes to the firearm. Get your grip properly on the gun. Fingers right, straight up, orient to the target. Okay? Third option, crossed arms. Same thing. Non-dominant hand gets the cloth and just sits there. This is like a preparatory mode. Non-dominant hand pulls straight up on the garment. This one I find I never get enough. Get to the gun, straight up, orient toward the target. So because I know I don't get enough cloth usually, grab lower. Start that gun getting out. When you're ready, straight up, hand to the gun, orient to the target, right? All right, so if we did this in normal speed, how would it look? Right? How about the other options? And finally. All right. Now, there is a reason that we come to the high center chest. In my life, in my world, I have actually spent quite a bit of time with a handgun. I've spent quite a bit of time comparing to the average Joe with my handgun out. And in this kind of a mode, you have control over this weapon, okay? The high center chest is where everything else begins. So let's say you drew the weapon, but you didn't actually need to use it right out, right? So you draw it, you're hearing something, you get the weapon out, you get ready to go, but you don't need to use it yet. High center chest is where you need that gun to stay. So it's living right in here, okay? From this position, you have control over that firearm. You can defend your brain, your computing device, against an attack if you needed to, and you can orient toward the target at the same time. You also have control from attacks from your flanks and your back. So let's say that someone tackled you. Once you have your weapon out, you have to retain that gun. Well, in this position, you can do so. You can tuck in, you can start to fight back, you can start to shrug it off. Let's say it was a hit from the side, same thing. You have strength in here. If the weapon is out here all the time, you will also tire much faster. If you're going around corners in a hallway, which we will get into eventually, but if you're doing that and your weapon is out all the time, not only will you tire, but you will also find you are much more at risk of having your weapon taken from you. If you have a weapon, it needs to remain yours. We'll be getting more into that soon. I hope it helps. Let me know what you think. If this is not something you guys are interested in or you find useful, let me know and I will discontinue this series. Thank you, and I'll see you later.